IT industry was in its very nascent stage. When we started the business, it was 16 rupees a minute. That was the outgoing call, mobile charges. So we had full clarity that the hero of the story is employee. So anything that can improve the employee's experience, productivity, is absolutely vital. So I will say this is the best time to be an entrepreneur. If one wants to be an entrepreneur, my advice will be.
Hello everyone, I'm Arush.
And I'm Manasvi. Welcome to another podcast of onRec, official podcasting club of IIT Roorkee.
Today we're joined by Mr. Rishi Das, an alumnus of IIT Roorkee, who's a serial entrepreneur and the mind behind several companies like Careernet, Hirepro, and Indicube. From starting with limited resources to building a 1,000 crore workspace brand, his journey's been nothing short of remarkable. Today we're going to dive deep into his story to try and uncover the story behind this incredible path.
So first of all, sir, many congratulations for receiving Distinguished Alumnus Award from IIT Roorkee.
Thank you, Manasvi. Thank you.
Yes. Sir, tell us how you feel coming back to the campus after decades and what kind of changes you see in the campus.
So coming back to campus is a great feeling, and I'm happy and relieved that while a lot of things have changed, I think the core of the campus remains the same. I see the same kind of warmth during the last couple of days. Whatever faculty members, students I have interacted, I think the culture what IIT Roorkee had when it was even University of Roorkee, that has been retained. A lot of good progress. So very positive feeling. I'm going back absolutely energized.
So I believe your passion for entrepreneurship actually started here at this very college when you had the opportunity to assist your uncle in setting up a floriculture business.
Yeah.
So could you tell us a little bit about that experience and what were really your key takeaways from that?
So when I joined in 1993, I had a lot of thoughts and doubts, as a lot of you would have when you joined the campus. Some thoughts were, should I go into the IT industry? Should I join bureaucracy? And all that. But nowhere entrepreneurship was on my mind. I think IIT Roorkee played a very, very pivotal role in basically shaping up my entrepreneurial journey. And let me also share this, that I'm talking about a time when even we had to look at dictionary for the word, the meaning entrepreneur. So those were very different times. So IIT Roorkee played a very pivotal role, and two professors have been very instrumental in my success all throughout. One is Professor MP Jain, and the other person, late Professor Harsh Sinwal. So both have been very, very pivotal in shaping up that. And as you mentioned, I did my first venture as a part-time co-founder along with my uncle. This was into floriculture. And then I convinced Professor Jain to float an elective on entrepreneurship. And a good number of us opted for that. So that was another place where I had the opportunity of preparing a business plan, a well-researched business plan on spirulina algae. It's one of the highest known source of vegetable protein in the world. So we put up a business plan on that. Then also there was Science Technology Entrepreneurship Park, STEP. Now you have TIDES and other things. That time we had STEP. So I was the founding student coordinator for STEP. And as part of that, we did many entrepreneurial activities, EDP programs and all of that. So by the time I was passing out, I had a good clarity that entrepreneurship is a path that I want to undertake. So as you rightly said, it played a very, very pivotal role in shaping up my entrepreneurial journey.
I feel like all the initiatives you took not only shaped your career, but ours as well in terms of changing the curriculum and bringing all these electives, as you said.
So very rightly said, those were very tough times. I will give you example, not only just entrepreneurship, but when we were there, by and large, most of the branches were taught COBOL and Fortran. And C++ programming had just come in, while industry was only looking for people who knew C++ programming. So that was a big gap that we had in the campus. So as part of STEP, we ran a lot of non-credit courses. These were very well-designed programs by the same faculty in computer science or maths department. Basically 40 lectures, 2 tests, 1 semester exam. And we used to give certification in these programming languages and all. And that became absolutely viral. We started for undergrad students. Then we started receiving a lot of requests from postgrad students, like people who are doing, say, MTech in CAD. and all. They needed those kind of programs. Then we started running programs for GIS, for the Earth Sciences department. So that became quite a rage. So you are absolutely right. In a lot of ways, it started impacting the curriculum over there. And I must say that some of the people who were in the first batch of entrepreneurship elective along with me have done extremely well. A large number of them are very successful entrepreneurs. So it did shape up not just the entrepreneurship, but overall electives, I will say, which were not there at that point of time.
Yeah, that's incredible.
So, sir, in the late 90s, getting a job was very tough and aspirational. At that time, you decided to quit your first job. So, how did you get that courage to take that risk in such young age? Like, did you had any planning of entrepreneurship and how it went, basically?
So, as I mentioned, by the time I was passing out, I had good clarity that I want to be an entrepreneur.
Yes.
And as a good student, like typically, I got my first job with a large IT company. And I must tell you, the day when I joined, I felt like I'm back in kindergarten. And I realized that I'm too restless to wait and grow the corporate ladder. So, and business always fascinated me. So I thought, okay, it might be a good idea to write CAT and then get into a good IIM or a good B school. So prepared for that, wrote that, could not get through. And then abruptly went home. And for the first few weeks, my father thought that I am on vacation and I will be going back. Then I told him that I'm not going back. I want to be an entrepreneur. So I think in my case, it was more gradual to that extent, because by that time I had already made up my mind that I want to be an entrepreneur. But what will I do? How it will happen? I had no idea on that. So my father was, I must say, a visionary, and considering his times, and he said that give yourself time, don't do anything in hurry, explore well, and what if you feel something meaningful, then only get in that. So I explored for a year to figure out what best suits me, and then decided to start a business into hiring Careernet along with my brother Anshuman. Yeah.
Okay, that's very nice. Like from there, you started Careernet and
yes.
further. Okay.
Yeah, so in this period during the 1990s, during the IT boom, what spaces did you see in the recruitment industry which made you say, I want to enter this space and disrupt it?
So, as you will know, that entrepreneurship is all about identifying the gaps and then mapping it to your core competencies and then going for it. So, in our case, when we were looking at all these opportunities, we realized few things, that IT industry was in its very nascent stage. Like to give you an idea, a company like Infosys or any large IT company was less than 4,000-5,000 people. So you can imagine what I'm talking when we are saying 500,000 people, or most of these companies have now. So it was very, very nascent. The other thing was there were hardly any recruitment firms which have any IT background. Because in India, liberalization happened in 1991. So we had recruitment firms who were specializing in FMCG or financial services, but no firms were there which were specializing into IT. And me and my brother both had the advantage of working in IT industry briefly. We came from technology backgrounds, so we had our networks. And I'm talking about an era when, forget about the social media, even Naukri.com was just started over there. And the mobile calls were 6 rupees a minute. When we started the business, it was 16 rupees a minute. That was outgoing call, mobile charges.
Right.
So that was real networking. There was no avenue for networking. So our alumni networks, typically 3 batches senior to me, 3 batches junior to me, those were my natural networks. My school networks, people who went to other IITs and all, they became our network. So we figured out that, okay, we had good pedigree, we had some exposure to technology, and we had a very rich alumni network. And above all, the business did not require capital. My father was an upfront officer in City Board in UP. So we did not have the capital. So we were looking for a business opportunity that doesn't require a lot of capital. So all that came together, and that's where we said that business looks nice. Let's go after it. Also, in any entrepreneur journey, the early success or failures shape a lot of your destiny. We were lucky that there was a company called Aditi Technologies. They were doing a lot of hiring for Microsoft for US. And we lined up people based on alumni network. And within one event, we could place about 10 people. And this 10 placements gave us almost 6 lakhs of rupees, where a salary in an IT company was 1 lakh rupees a year. So I think that gave us a lot of confidence that we have hit something big. Let's go after it.
So the early stages of Careernet, you basically planned events where you helped companies hire employees, right? So what were these events like? I want to know what it was like in the early stages when you weren't a fully established company. How do you go about organizing these events, convincing companies that you could really do this job for them?
So the good part was that when we went to a different IT companies and said that we are a recruitment company, we got a very good welcome. And our pedigree, because there were hardly any recruitment firms which had IITians, started by IITians or people who understood technology. So most of the software companies, they gave us a very, very warm welcome. That was a big foot in the door for us. But once we got in, then we were always known, our USP was that we will get the top end of the technology people who are passing out from IITs and other premier campuses. Unlike today, those numbers were very limited of those colleges. So there was a lot of premium on finding that talent. So we never looked at being the mass recruiter, and we stayed away from mass hiring because we are too small to do mass hiring. So we said, okay, this is our niche, this is our USP, let's just focus on that. And there was a very large market for that. When we started, the dot-com boom was there. So that was very helpful. Then the bust happened. Then by that time, a lot of MNCs started coming to India and very large numbers. So we were the top recruiter for them. Then we saw semiconductor booming in India. So, and then the startups came in 2007-8 when the Flipkarts of the world started getting founded. So we over a period of a decade, we saw different types of companies coming in. And we were known for the niche talent, and niche talent doesn't come in walk-ins. So these were not very mass events. These are very targeted events. Another distinguishing thing that we did was campus hiring, because we realized early on that a lot of companies which are not looking at hiring bulk talent, they are getting crushed and missed out in the campus hiring cycle. They might be looking at just 5 people, and there are enough people. Suppose a semiconductor company, right? And people are very particular. They want to go to a semiconductor job, and this is not like a truckload of hiring. So those companies are finding very difficult to compete with the volume recruiters. So we conceived a lot of programs. We came up with a program called Campus Connect, and we came up with a program called Silicon Quest. So those programs looked at very niche talent. And the idea was to go to IITs and the top campuses, basically create awareness about these kind of companies, funnel that talent, and so that these companies are able to recruit them without getting affected by the volume hiring. So many of those kind of pioneering initiatives we took at that time to ensure that whatever our USP is properly understood and absorbed by the industry.
And then after that, you started Hirepro, which focused on recruitment products. These products helped Careernet scale up. So if you could just briefly explain what Hirepro does and how did these products actually help you scale your business?
So when we started hiring, within 2-3 years, we realized that hiring is like a supply chain function, where essentially a company will give a requirement, and then we have to give the right candidates and ensure that the right candidates join the company. But if you see, it is not just about giving the CVs. Or the resumes. It is a lot about screening, scheduling, doing possibly the first round of written test, interviews. Then when you are about to join, collecting all your documents, the whole onboarding, keep in touch till the joining happens. So there are so many parts to it. And that is, and we could see that those gaps were there in the market. And then above all, the technology, because you need a lot of workflow automation. So with all these ideas and gaps, we started Hirepro, where we said that we will help you do end-to-end recruitment fulfillment. So what used to be just headhunting actually become like a talent acquisition fulfillment. So Hirepro essentially focused on all aspects of hiring minus the sourcing, the headhunting. So whether it is automation, assessments, coordination, program management, documentation, onboarding, all that is what Hirepro started focusing on.
Okay. Yeah. And now moving on to your latest venture, Indicube, which you started with your wife back in 2016. So Indicube is now India's leading workspace company, and which recently went public in July. So congratulations on going public.
Thank you.
So far we've been in the recruitment industry, offering recruitment services. Then we moved towards recruitment products because we felt that would really help us go ahead. But now all of a sudden we come across this unconventional shift to starting a real estate company. So this is not something you see very often. So what really prompted you to make the shift?
Yeah.
What were the opportunities that you saw, and what really made you take this forward?
Sure. So what was happening in Careernet, every 2 years we are changing office because we are growing so fast. So we're quite fed up with that. And in 2013, we decided that we will pick up a 100,000 square feet office space in Bangalore, and we required 50% of that space. The plan was that 50% we will occupy, the 50% we will give to other companies, more like a sublease. And as and when we will grow, we will ask those companies to vacate. So imagine if you have a 6-floor building, you occupy 3 floors, and 3 floors you give it to other people, with the hope that as and when you will expand, you can ask those 3-floor guys to vacate and take up the balance space. So that is what we did in 2013. And when those companies came in for occupying half the building, they were mostly clients of Careernet. So those guys started asking, can I use your boardroom once a month, training room? We were providing transport, we are providing food, a lot of services to our employees. So they wanted to use all of that. Those are not very large companies.
Right.
So when we were doing all this for these clients, we realized that there is a big gap in the market. And the gap was that you had big buildings like tech parks, which are on the periphery of the cities,
Right.
or you had very swanky, expensive buildings like UB City in Bangalore or the Horizon Towers in Gurgaon. But when you get out of those large buildings or very swanky buildings, there was no concept of a branded office. So there were standalone buildings. So we thought that can we create a affordable, functional workspace, typically, which is suited for mostly mid-size or smaller companies. And
Right.
so that was the basically thesis of that's a gap we saw. And since that business, we are already in that business, because by the time we had already given 50,000 square feet of space.
Yeah.
Plus, that was a B2B business. And all my life, if you see, we have done B2B businesses. So we knew what companies are looking for. So that came, and we were dealing with people. We also figured out that why companies spend in good office spaces is to attract and retain the employees. So the
Correct.
hero of the story is the employee. So we understood the employee psyche very well. We had worked with a lot of corporations. So those were all the things that came together that let's start Indicube. Yeah. And my late father, Mr. Anandas and Meghna, they both ventured full time, because me and my brother Anshuman, we had our day jobs with Careernet.
Yeah.
So they were the ones who started, and we picked up a 150,000 square feet property in Bangalore. Within a matter of 6 months, the whole thing got leased out. And coming to Bangalore as migrants, no knowledge about the local background and no political connections, because we are always told that real estate is about political connections and all of that. But we were proved wrong in a very nice way. And since seeing that success, we picked up another property of 60,000 square feet the same year. And a big consulting company came in and picked up the space. So within a year, we had more than 200,000 square feet of space gone. So that gave us a lot of confidence. And then I started operationally weaning off from my responsibilities at Careernet, left it to Anshuman and the tenure team, and then started focusing on Indicube full time with Meghna.
Sir, we got to know that you have built some innovative models and approaches to scale Indicube. So can you share some of the innovations which Indicube did and continues to do for its growth and expansion?
So as I said, see, the first thing, like any other startup, is about getting your product right. From the beginning, we had clarity that the biggest occupier for office spaces in India is the IT industry at that point of time. Of late, startups and other companies have picked up.
Yes.
But if you look at 2015-16, IT industry was the biggest occupier. Now, most of these IT companies serve customers who are in US or Europe or wherever. They don't have the customers here. So why are they building such big campuses, aspirational offices, providing a lot of freebies, goodies, amenities to their employees? So we had full clarity that the hero of the story is the employee. So anything that can improve the employee's experience, productivity, is absolutely vital. So for example, that clarity was always there. Whom are we serving over there? Second thing where we were very clear that there is no equivalent of this business in US. We have a competitor where they serve beer in the office, right? And I'm not talking today, 10 years back. We are very clear that India requires affordable food and transport before we can offer free beer in the office. Right, so we were never excited about having a very large amount of frills or freebies or goodies in the office. In India, you have to look at pay as you use model. If you keep everything in your cafeteria, people have a tendency to take it home. Right, so you pay as you use model. So there are many firsts that we had, right from starting the product fitment, right, focusing heavily on functionality over there and providing a lot of flexibility. For example, when we cater to IT industry, I can't say that one size fits all, right? Because a lot of IT companies run labs, they have servers, they have 24/7 operations. So we were absolutely comfortable personalizing, customizing those office spaces for them right from the beginning over there. Plus, the concept when we started at that time was that co-working was there. But co-working meant that, okay, if you want 5 seats, 10 seats in our office, you go and pick it up. We realize that in India, that model will not scale up. People here are looking for large size, long stay. An average IT company was looking for 200 seats. And they were not looking to stay with us for 6 months. They wanted to be for 3 or 5 years. So when you have large size, long stay kind of business, that's not co-working. That's managed office business. And managed office is essentially understanding what the customer is looking for and providing them that kind of solutions. So those were a lot of, I will say, differentiated stuff that we did at that point of time and we continue doing. I think that has built Indicube as one of the largest managed office spaces in the country.
Sir, I have read about like spoke to hub approach, right? So what it is exactly and like how it gave advantage in growing the business?
Yeah. So what happens is that, so as I said that the hero of the story is the employee. So one thing we are very clear that Indicube has to go where talent is. So we always have a strategy of follow the talent. We don't say that, okay, I will not open an office in Timbuktu. If there are people in Timbuktu who are looking for jobs or are in jobs, Indicube will be there. So that is a strategy. Now comes, okay, if I do a business in a place like Koramangala, right? I will give the example, Bangalore. And I say, okay, I want to have only be in the large tech park business. Now, Koramangala is a very crowded place. There is no place where you can have a large tech park. Or if one tech park comes in, it may come in once in 5 years. And that will be a gold-plated tech park, which not a lot of startups can afford. So different markets require different solutions. So basically, our strategy was, plus within the market, you have a lot of depth in India. For example, if you look at, if I'm catering to a very, very just bootstrap startup, they might be looking for a 5,000, 6,000 rupee seat. Whereas if I am dealing with a global capability center, they are okay to pay even 15, 20,000 rupees a seat. And both of them exist in the same micro market. Now I can't have one product which fits all. So we follow a differentiated strategy that, okay, in the same micro market, I will have a large property, which becomes like our hub, and then we will have a lot of spokes. And that large property will have all the amenities, the spokes may not have all the amenities. For example, if you want to do an open house or you want to do a large training program, you may not be having the same thing in your building in a spoke. But if you walk a couple of blocks away, and the larger building will have all those kind of things. So there we were able to cater to a very large segment of customers. Plus, when we went to tier 2 cities, now tier 2 cities in India are just picking up. See, one big difference what has happened is when we started the business, or when when I passed out, at that point of time, people were going where jobs were. But if you look at today's generation, your generation, jobs are going where people are. So that's a big shift. Somebody like me went 2,000 miles for job. Today, jobs are going where people are. That's a big shift. So a lot of tier 2 in India is looking very promising. Now, when you open an office in a city like Coimbatore or a Madurai or a Lucknow or a Bhubaneswar, you can't say that I will open a very large office. That market is not there. Market will take 4 to 5 years to reach there. So we have to essentially look for a smaller product and then grow with the market. So that is where the hub and spoke model allows us to offer different price points. It allows to have a good entry strategy. into different cities or micro markets across the country. That has been the strategy around the hub and spoke model.
That's very nice to know. And so moving ahead, we all know getting an IPO is milestone for any company. So like what made you feel that it is the right time to take the company public?
So, if you ask me, when we started the journey and till today, I don't see that we are thinking about exiting the business ever. Because my firm belief from the beginning has been the best companies are bought, they are never sold. Right, and every single day we work and do the right thing in IndiQube with the intent that we have to run this business forever. That's the philosophy. Now, IPO, because this business requires a lot of capital, so that was one reason that what IPO provides is IPO provides you perpetual capital, typically without any exits in time frame. IPO also gave us a lot of validation in the market. Because we essentially deal with a lot of multinational companies, we deal with a lot of landlords, which are institutional landlords and all that. So once you're a listed company, you are able to have better credibility in front of them. So from all that perspective, it's a logical step in our journey. And I think we completed it fairly well. And from here, we see that business as usual, continue building upon that.
Okay.
Yeah, so continuing on this point of the IPO, an IPO requires a major shift towards transparency. So how is Indicube really dealing with this?
So I will say transparency, governance were always absolutely important. Like if you look at even our first venture, Careernet, that has completed 25 years. And we have employees who joined us in 99. The good number of them have three of them have just completed 25 years. They were the first three employees, and there are more than 15, 20 people who have completed 20 years. And in today's world, you can't retain people unless until you are transparent, high on governance, you provide a good culture, mutual respect and all of that. So all those were naturally ingrained in our culture, typically. And a large part of that I will attribute to our upbringing, our alma mater IIT Roorkee. For instilling those values. Me and my brother and my family, Meghna, all of us believe we got in the business by choice and we want to keep it that way. So governance was never an option for us. Now, when we started, early on we raised a round of capital in 2018. That was from Westbridge Capital. Now, what it did was, when you have a large institutional investor with you, there are a lot of things that come from their side. For example, getting audited by a big four. So since 2018-19, a big four audit firm has been auditing our accounts. We have been having regular board meetings. We have been having regular MIS reviews, compliances, related party transactions have been minimized. So many of those things are already there. And that is the reason you'll be surprised that we started thinking about IPO the first time last year, June.
Okay.
And by July of this year, we are already listed. Normally people say that it takes you 3 years of preparation to do IPO. But in our case, end to end, 12 months we completed the IPO. And all that could happen purely because it was nothing new for us. And post IPO also, I can say that of course we have the added job of communicating to the institutional investors, the markets at large, but otherwise life has not changed. It's business as usual. The same audit firms are there, with our interaction with Westbridge as good as that, and life goes on.
So, sir, moving ahead, what is the long-term vision like you have for IndiQube in next 5 to 10 years in terms of expansion and overall growth?
So the way I see it is that the 1.0 of managed office space will come out of India. Today, if you see, Bangalore as a city absorbs maximum amount of real estate in the world, typically. Now, if Bangalore is the capital of new real estate in the world, I can't think of why a model which came out of North America or Europe will lead the world. So India has a very massive opportunity. And in our space specifically, with now 4 companies listed, couple of them more in the pipeline, I can't think of any other new sectors of economy where there are 5, 6 listed firms. So it's a highly competitive area, and all of us are trying to do better than others. So whatever will come out of all this is going to be absolutely world class, and lead that model. And clearly, we see that from IndiQube perspective, we are at the right place, right time. Just keep building on that over there, and keep scaling up, keep going to more cities. And the other thing is, there are lots of adjacencies in this business. So, for example, I mentioned about, like, we provide food, we provide transport, we provide different kinds of services. So that's where we see a lot of opportunity on the adjacencies, and we are looking at building a lot of them in house. We are looking at a lot of them through partnerships over there. And like AI is disrupting every other area, we see that commercial real estate will also have huge disruption. And we are sitting on loads of data. Like today, if you see, about 100,000 people work out of IndiQube commutes every day. And there are more than 800 enterprise clients that we have. Now, the amount of data footprint that we have with a lot of them is where we are trying to see that how we can enhance a lot of experience, optimize their cost, all of that. And the third thing, which has been very close to our heart, is sustainability. A lot of focus on that. We started our journey in sustainability in the last 4-5 years. Today, if you see, almost 40% of our buildings are green buildings. And these are buildings where we took the initiative of making them green. Over there, we have now about a 20 megawatt solar plant, which is completely operational. And we are scaling that plant to about 100 megawatts. Now, with all that happening, typically all my buildings in Bangalore and Karnataka are on green power. We have made investments into green power in Maharashtra. We are making investments in Tamil Nadu. So all these things is where a lot of focus is on that, because we believe that the big thing that is happening, not just in India, across the world, is transition to green. So energy transition, green transition is a very, very significant part of it. And I'm very happy to say that IndiQube is a front leader when it comes to green buildings or green offices. And we want to continue doing more in the area of water management, waste management, energy, and all of that.
Very wonderful to know. So tell me, like, as you have built multiple companies, so what is that one common value or principle that leads to the key for success in your businesses?
Very difficult to point out one key thing, but I can say the key thing is the culture. That is a very, very important thing. And as you will grow or continue to grow, I think the culture and the values of the company have to remain intact. And in our case, our culture has been grow responsibly. We believe that growth at any cost comes at a huge cost. So we don't believe in that mad growth. We believe in sustainable growth. We believe in humility, typically, a lot. So I have seen over years people who have been even less competent, but they have been humble, they have survived better than arrogant, competent category of people. And do the right thing the first time. If in doubt, disclose. So those are the things, and the mutual respect for the fellow beings. I think those are the things I will say, the culture and values that have been guiding us over the last 2.5 decades. And I believe they will continue to do the same for us.
That is actually very nice. As you talk about humility, that is like very much visible from your personality as well. So that's very nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so before we conclude, what advice would you like to give to budding entrepreneurs watching this video who don't want to pursue a traditional 9-to-5 job and they want to start their entrepreneurial journey? What should they really be looking out for?
So I will say this is the best time to be an entrepreneur in India. Everything is going so well for the country. We are poised to be the third largest economy. We have very strong leadership, all of that going well. Best time to be an entrepreneur. And if one wants to be an entrepreneur, my advice will be start early. Don't wait. Because when in my case, I can say that I had a huge advantage because you have no liabilities, right? Your parents are in job, they are financially dependent, they are in the best of their health. You have no commitments on the personal side for you. You have no inhibitions. You can take a no from anyone. You can try, do all of that. And the downside is just nothing. Today, entrepreneurship is so much celebrated that even if you don't succeed, even failures are recognized. They are respected and celebrated. So best time to be an entrepreneur, start early. The other thing which I will say to fellow entrepreneurs is technology is not the only way to be an entrepreneur. There are so many opportunities and gaps in this country. Don't think venture capital, private equity funding, or technology is an end in itself. I always give these examples of businesses like Suguna Chicken. If you see such a large business in poultry, or you look at Adyar Anand Bhavan, these are thousands of crores of business. Or you look at a Haldiram kind of things. Technology is there, but they are not tech businesses. So don't just think that tech is. There is a big Bharat there. There is not just India, and that is hungry for a lot of these opportunities. So identify the gaps well, do that. Venture capital money, private equity money is gold-plated money. Consume it very responsibly, right? And try to build a good team, the founding team, because founders' weakness should not become the organization's weakness. So, for example, suppose you are thinking of a business which will require a lot of digital marketing. Suppose you are doing a D2C business. Now, if you don't have in your core team a strong guy who understands marketing or digital marketing, or if you are looking at something which involves a lot of tech, or anything which requires a lot of depth in that. Suppose you are starting a food venture, and if one of you is not absolutely passionate about food, right, or you're a foodie, I think so within the founding team you need to have that set of people, all that, and just go for it, and don't hesitate to make mistakes. Ideas will change, and let me tell you, the best investors don't put money on your ideas. They mostly put money on the teams, right? You are betting on the horse or the jockey, right? Not on the idea as such. So those are very critical, and idea will evolve. If you make mistakes, learn fast, be agile, and be disciplined. Last but very important thing is that don't try to become an entrepreneur because you think that okay, I'm getting bored in the job. That is a suicidal thing to do. Okay. Entrepreneurship is an all-in game, right? If you are thinking about an idea and you are not able to sleep at night, and you just believe that I need to do it, then only do that. It's like in the case of a women trying to have the first kid, right? Or the parents trying to have first child, couples having that. Now, parenthood is not easy, right? A child is a lifetime responsibility. So you can't have children for the fun of having them. But if you have the intense desire to have parenthood, then only go for it. So entrepreneurship is like that. It's a long-term commitment. It's very lonely. So having a co-founder is very important. Or if your spouse is there, and so buy-in from such important stakeholders is very, very important, because there will be down moments, and your co-founder or your spouse or your partner has to pitch in for all of that. So, but the upsides are just infinite, and the amount of impact that you can make from entrepreneurship, I can't think of anybody else can make in the job. So go for it, but go in a good way. Now today, a lot of mentors and people are available who can advise you. Don't hesitate to validate your idea. A lot of times as entrepreneurs, what we do is we go by the gut. That is okay, but validate. And today, with so much of data available in the public domain, validation is easy.
Right.
So just do it. That's my advice to a lot of you at IIT Roorkee.
Thank you so much, sir. It was very nice having you as our guest. I'm very sure our audience will get so much learning from this conversation. Thank you so much.
Thanks to both of you, and thanks. All the best. Yeah, thank you.